If you're trying to settle debt on your own and you're not sure where to start, like what percentages to offer or who's actually going to sue you and how this whole process works, you're not alone. As a participant of a debt settlement company, I've personally overseen the settlement of a lot of debt. So I understand how this process works, who sues, who doesn't, and what the real pros and cons are of doing this on your own versus hiring a company. In this video, I'm going to walk through how to settle debts step by step, what you should be thinking about before you start, and how to approach this in a way that actually gives you a chance of success. And throughout this video, I'm going to touch on a few things that will break down in more detail in other videos, like what percentage you should actually offer when settling debts, how to protect your credit after settlement, and what to look for in your settlement agreements. And for a quick disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only, not intended as legal advice. So here's the reality. Doing things on your own versus hiring a debt settlement company. Before we get into the process, it's important to understand the trade-offs. One of the biggest advantages of settling debt on your own is saving money on the fees. Most settlement companies charge something between 15 to 25% of your enrolled debt. And depending on how much you owe, that can add up very quickly. But that doesn't mean doing it on your own is always the best choice. There are real benefits to working with a company, especially when it comes to strategizing, negotiating, and managing multiple accounts. And that's exactly why understanding your situation first matters so much. So step one to this process is understanding your finances first. Before you can even think about negotiating with a creditor, you need to understand your own financial situation. That means knowing how much debt you have, what your monthly expenses look like, and how much you can realistically set aside to settle. This is what is going to drive your entire strategy going forward. For example, if you have something like $10,000 in debt and your goal is to settle for about 50% over 2 years, you need to understand what that looks like on a monthly basis and whether that's actually doable given your budget. This is also where you need to think about risk. Some creditors are more likely to sue than others. And if you know certain accounts carry more risk, you may want to prioritize those more aggressively. We'll actually go deeper into lawsuit risk and how to think about it in another video because it can be a huge impact on your strategy. Now, moving on to step 2 of this process, understanding how settlement percentages work. Once you understand your finances, the next question becomes, what should you actually offer? And this is where most people get stuck because the percentage you settle for isn't fixed. It depends on timing, the creditor, your financial situation, and whether there's a lawsuit involved. In general, people often think in ranges of like 30 to about 50% if you're in a pre-lawsuit stage. But this does increase once a lawsuit is filed, and that is just a starting point. And instead of just guessing, I'm going to break this down in more detail in the next video. This is where I'll walk through exactly what percentages you should offer when settling on debt and how to adjust based off of your specific situation. So if you're unsure what numbers to start with, that's where the next video will come into play that you will want to watch. Step 3 is timing. This matters a lot more than you would think. One of the biggest factors in settlement is the timing of things. If your account hasn't gone to a collection attorney yet, creditors may be more flexible. But once a lawsuit is involved, everything changes. Now, there are legal costs involved, and from their perspective, they may believe they have more leverage, which means higher settlement percentages and stricter terms. This is also where things can get a little bit more complex in terms of who you're actually negotiating with, whether it's the original creditor or a law firm. And we'll go deeper into that lawsuit strategy and negotiating in another video. Moving on to step number 4, know who you're dealing with. Not all creditors behave the same way. Some are more willing to negotiate, while others may be more aggressive. For example, some credit unions may be less flexible when it comes to settling for a reduced amount, while other creditors may be more open, depending on your situation. This is why doing a little research on your end on the specific creditors can go a long way, because it helps you set more realistic expectations before you even start negotiating. Step 5, prioritizing the right accounts. If you have multiple debts, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is treating them all the same. Some accounts are going to carry more risk than others. Higher balances or creditors that are more likely to sue should usually be prioritized higher on your list. This is because the consequences of ignoring those can be more serious, and where a strategy really starts to matter. That's why just randomly settling on accounts without a larger plan can create bigger problems down the line. Now, I want to pause here for a second because this is where things can get very complicated. If you have more than one debt, then it gets way more complex and pretty quickly can confuse people. We have actually built Ascend to help individuals work through more complex debt situations, and we've have a proven track record with 5-star Google rating based off of 300 reviews with hundreds of thousands of people that we've helped. So I'm going to ask you to take a short form below and share a little bit more about your situation so we can give you a more customized solution 100% for free. And if you're like me, who's a bit skeptical about free things, I'm also going to link another video below about how Ascend works and why people are comfortable using our free service. Step number 6, understanding the tax implications. Another thing that people don't always think about is taxes. In some cases, forgiven debt can be considered taxable income. You often receive a 1099-C for cancellation of debt at the end of the year around tax season. But there are exceptions, especially if you're tax insolvent or if the debt is discharged through bankruptcy. This can get a bit technical, so it's usually a good idea to work with a tax professional if you're unsure. We have also built tools and content that breaks this down further if you want to go deeper into how taxes work within debt settlement. So moving on to step 7, always getting everything in writing. Now, one of the most important parts of this entire process is getting everything in writing. Because if you don't have documentation, you don't have protection. You want to make sure you have written agreements outlining this settlement. And once you pay, you want confirmation that the account is being resolved with a zero balance. This protects you if the debt is ever resold to another collector and they try to come after you for it later. We actually did a full video breaking down exactly what to look for in a settlement agreement and how to make sure it's structured correctly. So what are the key takeaways here? How to approach the debts the right way is important. When it comes to settling debt on your own, it's not just about calling the creditor and throwing out a random number. It's about understanding your finances, knowing your risk, choosing the right accounts to prioritize, and negotiating with a proper strategy. Because when you approach it the right way, you can save a significant amount of money and frankly time. But if you approach it in the wrong way, it can cost you more in the long run and be quite cumbersome. Now, if you're serious about settling debt, the next thing you'll need to understand is what percentage you should actually be offering, because that's where most of the outcome is determined. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what percent to settle for, depending on your situation, whether you're pre-lawsuit, post-lawsuit, and how to adjust based on the creditor. So make sure to watch that video next if you're truly dedicated to settlements. And again, if you're dealing with multiple debts, you can take our short form below. We can help you map out a customized plan to get out of debt completely for free. If this helped you, I'd really appreciate a like or subscribe. We're here to get you out of debt smarter, cheaper, faster, and with a real plan. So I'll see you guys in the next video.